Remember Cyberpunk? The game that's most commonly used when benchmarking new PC parts? Yeah. Do you want to feel old? That game was released 6 years ago. I remember back in 2020 when it was coming up to this game's release, it was hyped up beyond expectation, beyond everything. The trailers were getting a lot of views, the memes were huge, and fucking Keanu Reeves was there for some reason.
Why do you come?
Plus 100 Reddit Chungus points for that. The hype for this game was unreal, and so was the disappointment that followed when the game released, and it was a huge, buggy and messy disappointment. It ran like ass, incredibly buggy. It got so bad that console companies like Sony and Xbox pulled the game off the stores and issued refunds. That shit only happens to the worst of games. And all in all, it was just a shit show. They had to give out apologies and the iconic AAA developer note, and I like to think Cyberpunk is one of the reasons why recently most AAA games have been coming out buggy and unfinished. Because other AAA big hits saw Cyberpunk 2077 and how bad it was, but even though it was bad, it still sold. So they thought they could get away with shittier games, and this is also my fear if GTA 6 were to come out in a remotely similar state. But that's just my take. As the years passed, Cyberpunk did make a small comeback, No Man's Sky style, with a plethora of updates improving the game, which it did. The bugs were fixed, they released a DLC which was well received, and an anime that was... Oh my god, man. But put the anime aside for a second. I wonder why Cyberpunk 2077 is still the go-to for showcasing games on newer gen GPUs. I understand that it is a very huge game and many people play it, but I've seen the game so many times in previews and reviews of GPUs throughout the years that I genuinely forgot this game is turning 6 years old this year. It is ready to go to kindergarten. I never necessarily viewed Cyberpunk to be a ludicrously heavy game, at least for today's GPU standards. People say on Reddit a 2000 series GPU is enough to play the game on 1080p or even 1440p with pretty good FPS. So why are they using it to showcase a 5090? And how is it getting 20 FPS without DLSS and frame generation? I don't get how a game that had such a bad rep and first impression on its release resists this much and still be a leviathan in the gaming space half a decade later, whilst also being a single player game. And you might say RDR2 that released all the way back in 2018 exists and people are still using that as a benchmark today, which true, but my point is RDR2 has a big emphasis on realism and details that easily mugs games even today. Its realism is incredible and real and damn near flawless in every nook and cranny and didn't have much bugs in its lifetime. And Cyberpunk has all of that. In the trailers. With such a bad release, I honestly thought the game was going to be remembered as a mess and a failure and only revisited as remember this one game that was so ass? A sort of Concord of single player games, but apparently not. I suppose the hype for this game was so high that it somehow persisted and helped it survive through the years even though it had such an abysmal launch. They may be joking about it now, referencing the bugginess in trailers, but it was horrid when it was released. But somehow it survived and is thriving now. Maybe thanks to the DLC and the anime, which, oh my fucking god. They also have a sequel announced to be in production, so here's hoping that doesn't turn out like how the last one did. And of course, I'm looking forward for Edgerunners too. So yeah, I guess that's really it on this random thought. What do you guys think? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and sorry for the shorter video this week. College is starting up again and I couldn't write a full video in time, but yeah. Next week is a full video though, trust me on that. Anyway, like, subscribe for more, and if there's one thing to learn from Cyberpunk, it's that if you started off awfully, you can always make a fire anime about it and thrive even more.